All right, hello everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 21st, and it is 11 a.m. here in Maryland. This is the time that we always do live videos each week. It's always at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. And today we are talking about phrasal verbs. We will come back to this in one moment because right now, not many people are here yet. So we're going to wait 1 or 2 minutes for more people to join, and then we will begin with the topic. I see Rhea was the first person here. Thank you for joining, Rhea. Glad to see you here. Guerma also here as usual, and I hope you are doing great also. Thank you. Sophie here as usual. Hi, Teacher Mike. Another valuable lesson. We are all ears. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, Sophie. And for anyone who doesn't know, all ears is an expression which means we are listening 100%. We are ready to listen to everything that you want to say. Ava says she's here just for a while. Or here, I'm just here for a while. Okay. So not here the whole time, maybe, but thank you for trying to join. Okay, I see we've got a lot more people here now. And Renata is here. Renata, again, thank you for being a YouTube member and helping to support my channel. Thank you very much. As you can see, she's got that thing next to her name, the little circle. That means that she is a member who pays a small monthly fee to help support my YouTube channel. So again, thank you very much. But yeah, our topic today is phrasal verbs. Um, so what are phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are just verbs that usually have a preposition or I think sometimes an adverb after them. For example, pick up. We have pick, pick's the verb, up is the preposition. And when you put them together, they have a new meaning. It's not about picking, and it's not really about up, but in that example, it is a little bit about up. Um, but anyways, phrasal verbs are basically informal things that we use basically to avoid using language that sounds too formal. Um, Let me give you an example. So like I said, pick up. Um, and actually, there are different ways that we can use pick up. For example, I'm going to pick up my phone. It was on the table. Now it's not on the table. Now it's in my hand because I picked it up. And in that case, yes, it is kind of about up, but it's not about picking something. And that's what's interesting is the meaning of the two words together is different from the meaning of each word separate. So you can't always guess what they mean. And this is why some people think that they are very difficult. Um, so pick up can also mean that you drive somewhere and say, hello, get in the car, let's go. And you take someone from their location to a different location. Um, I guess the formal word that we might use would maybe be retrieve. I will retrieve you from the library at 3 o'clock. But again, that sounds very formal, and we'd probably never say that. We'd almost always say, pick up. I'll pick you up from the library at 3 o'clock. So using phrasal verbs helps us to sound more human because when you use very formal language, you sound less human, less friendly. And when you use more informal language, such as phrasal verbs, you sound more human, a little bit more friendly, not so much like a robot or something. Um, so yeah, pick up is one example. And so now that we know what phrasal verbs are, actually let me check the comments very quickly to make sure everyone can hear me, make sure there's no problems before we continue. Okay, well, thank you very much. So, MD Jahrul Islam, before I even asked, he had already said both sound and video are crystal clear. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Irena says, "Hello, Mike. I'm glad that you chose phrasal verbs as a topic for our live." Well, I'm glad that you are glad. And Anna Maria says, "Thank you for your live lesson. It's the first time for me." Ah, thank you for joining and welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Just checking a few more of the comments before we continue. Okay, yeah, so now let's continue. So we're talking about phrasal verbs, and basically, lots of people have told me phrasal verbs are so difficult to learn. They're so confusing. They've said that, or they've said things like, "Can you please make a video about what it means when you add the word up after a verb, or what it means when you add the word out after a verb? What does that mean?" And those questions show me that the problem, so this is what I think, in my opinion, my professional opinion, is that the problem is not that phrasal verbs are really difficult. Yes, they can be difficult sometimes because there are lots of them, but everything can be difficult sometimes. And there are lots of nouns, there are lots of adjectives. So there this I really think that learning phrasal verbs is the same as learning everything. There will always be lots of nouns that you don't know. There will always be lots of adjectives that you don't know. And you will keep learning more and more every day. Phrasal verbs are the same. So I think that the problem is not that phrasal verbs are difficult. I think that the real problem is that the way that you are thinking about phrasal verbs is making it more difficult than it really is. So it's difficult in your head because of the way that you are thinking about it. But you might feel like, "No, teacher, you're crazy. They're difficult. You don't understand." So wait. Let me explain what I mean. So again, if we go back to the example of pick up, and people have said things like, "Please make a video about what it means when you add up to a verb." So pick becomes pick up. You can't do that. You can't say, "What does up mean?" Because here, up doesn't mean anything. And it's not about picking something. This one, this one, this one. It's not about that. So it's not about pick and it's not about up. They don't mean the same thing when we put them together. When we put them together, the meaning is completely different. So you can't always look at them and try to say, "Okay, pick means this, up does this, so together it means this." No, you can't do that. That's not how it works. There are some where you can guess, like pick up the phone. Yeah, up is up. But when you pick someone up at the airport in your car, you're not picking that person and nothing is going up. So there's no logical way to think about it. You can't do this in your head. Just like if you see an adjective that you have never seen before and you don't recognize it at all, and you think, I don't know what that means. When you see it, you don't try to figure it out. Okay, it starts with an A, it ends with a Z, because you can't do that. If you don't know it, you don't know it. The same is true with most phrasal verbs. You can't figure them out in your head. What you need to do is look them up. You see a phrasal verb you don't know, you see pick up, and you think, in this sentence, I can tell that it's really not about picking someone, and it's not about up. So I wonder what it means. Search on the internet. Go on the internet. What does pick up mean? Boom, you learned a phrasal verb. And that is how I recommend learning phrasal verbs. When you see something and it doesn't make sense, you don't know what it means, you don't need to try to like, this and this together. No, no, just look it up. Use the internet or use a dictionary. That's all you have to do. And when you think about them too much and you're trying to think, what does up mean? What does up mean? Up? In some situations, yes, the word up might mean increase, but it doesn't always. So the easiest thing to do is don't try to figure it out. Just look it up. Again, use the internet or use a dictionary, just like you would when learning a new noun, just like you would when learning a new verb, just like you would when learning a new adjective. So just look them up. If you think about them too much, you're just making it more difficult. You're making it seem more difficult than it really is because you're trying to find patterns. You're trying to find, patterns that don't exist. You're trying to find a way to think about them that makes sense when there isn't one. So yeah, just look them up. That's really the main thing that I wanted to say in this lesson is that they're not super difficult. You are just thinking about them in a way that makes them more complicated than they really are. And the only thing that you need to do is when you see or hear one and you don't know what it means, look it up. But don't think that up is going to add the same meaning to every phrasal verb because it doesn't mean anything. It only means something in that phrasal verb. That explanation might be kind of difficult for some of you to understand, I'm sure, but I'm trying trying my best to use simple language, but this isn't something that I can explain 100% clearly using very, very simple language, but I'm trying my best. Now, let's see if anyone has questions about what I've said or any comments about what I've said. So I'm going to take a moment to check the comments again. And then I am also going to teach you some other phrasal verbs in a moment. Okay, this person, Rosa, says, I agree with you. The problem is in my head. Also, I agree. We don't say I'm agree, but just I agree. Renata, good question. Yes, to look something up is a phrasal verb. And this is another one. To look something up means to try to find the definition or the meaning in a dictionary. So to use a dictionary to find out, now that's another phrasal verb. To use a dictionary to understand what a word means, to look something up. Yep, that is a phrasal verb. Good question. D. Bassick, thank you for being a member. Hello, Teacher Mike. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. And thank you again for being a member. Now, let's look at some other phrasal verbs. So, another good example is give up. So, if you think, this one has up, what does up mean? Again, it's not going to work because give up is not about anything going up. It's not about anything increasing. It's not about anything getting bigger or louder. It, it's not about up. Um, give up means to stop trying to do something. For example, um, he started learning how to play the guitar, but he thought it was too difficult, so he gave up. Past tense, gave. He gave up. That means he stopped trying. He quit. He said, "This is too difficult. I'm not going to do it anymore." This is a very common one. Most of you probably already know this one. But again, I want you to see that the word up is not special. The word up doesn't have any meaning here. It's just part of the phrasal verb. And if you think, it has to be up, 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 that is why it feels difficult. It feels difficult because you are thinking about it too much. And the only thing that you should do is look it up in a dictionary when you see it. Or work out means to exercise, to do heavy or intense exercise, often at the gym, lifting weights or something like that. Um, so if you see work, it's not about working. It's not about working. And out, out? No, it's not about out. So you can't use your brain to say, okay, work and out together. That means exercise. No, that doesn't make sense. You can't do that. If you see work out and you say, work out, what does that mean? I have no idea. Look it up in a dictionary. Or carry on. Carry on. Carry on. To carry something. Like I'm carrying my bag. I'm carrying a baby. And on, like on. But carry on means continue. Continue doing what you are doing. Don't stop. For example, maybe your boss walks into the room and you and your coworker stop working and you look at your boss and your boss says, "Oh, no, please carry on with what you were doing." That means don't worry about me, just continue working. Keep doing it. Keep going. Continue working. Carry on. But if you try to think about it, carry on. Carry on. What is it? It doesn't work. So again, the problem is you're thinking too much when the only thing that you need to do is use a dictionary. Um, or just listen to English every day. Because when you listen to English every day, you will hear these again and again and again and again, and you will probably start to understand them naturally. You might not, and then you use a dictionary, but you might. Another example, hang out. So to hang out means to spend time just relaxing, not doing anything special. So on the weekends, she likes to hang out at home. She just sits on the sofa, reads a book, drinks tea. She's hanging out. But hang, like hang and out, do we have to be outside and are we hanging things? No, it's not about hang and it's not about out. You can't make the connection in your brain. It doesn't work. You just have to look at them together. It's not hang, it's not out, it's hang out. Or another one with pick is pick on. So pick, like this one, this one, this one, on. No, that's not what it means. To pick on someone means to bully someone or kind of like to harass someone, to try to make them feel bad. So if someone says, haha, you're fat, you're stupid, things like this, that is to pick on someone. The other kids in his class always pick on him. They are not nice to him. But yeah, those. It looks like I exited the video somehow on accident. I'm sorry about that. I've never had that happen before. I think I moved my fingers like this on the mouse pad, and that exited the video. But I'm back. Um, but yeah, those are the phrasal verbs that I wanted to show you. And again, I chose those ones because there isn't any connection between the verb and the preposition. You can't solve them in your brain. It doesn't work. But again, sometimes there are ones that you can guess. For example, pick up the phone. Okay, you see it, you think, okay, that one, and it goes up. Yeah, but my point is that a lot of the time, for many of them, you cannot do that. You cannot really guess what they mean. So look them up. Now I'm going to take a moment reading some of the comments. What is the difference between carry on and carry out? So carry on, like I said, it usually means continue. Carry out means to do something, usually a process. Um, what's a good example? Uh, we need to carry out our new plan. Basically means we're going to do it. Or this country is carrying out attacks on this country. So yeah, carry on just means continue, but carry out basically means do or perform. But we only use it in some situations where something is like a process, like a military operation or something. Good question. And yes, carry on means continue doing something. Fregoso, thank you very much. Thank you. The basic, again, thank you for being a member. Are both ways correct? I'm giving up this job and I'm giving this job up. Um, okay, so two things here. First is that yes, both ways are correct. What I mean is that give up is a separable phrasal verb. So when you have an object, the object can go after both of the words, or it can go in the middle between them. However, it's not really correct because I wouldn't use give up in this situation. In this situation, I would say quit. I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting this job. I'm resigning from this position. I would not use give up here because give up means stop trying, but it's not about leaving a job. Um, you could say, I'm giving up learning English. Um, but you wouldn't say giving up a job usually. Look forward to. I don't understand this phrasal verb very well. So to look forward to something basically means to anticipate something, um, which really means that there's something in the future and you feel good about this thing happening in the future. You are happy that it is going to happen. You want to be there. You want to see it. You want to do it. You think it will be good. For example, I look forward to meeting you next week. That's like saying, I'm excited to meet you. I think it will be nice. Jessica, yes, 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 100%. Sometimes we can guess the meaning if we understand most of the sentence or paragraph. Yes. So, with context, with more information, yes, you can guess what it means. My point is just that if you only have the phrasal verb, there's no other information, there's no sentence, there's no story, then you can't just take the verb and the preposition and say, I think this means, no, it doesn't work. But you're correct. Yes, if you have more information, then you can. The same with everything. Very good. This is a good question, too. How do we know if a preposition after the verb is part of a phrasal verb or just the word up? Um, so if you see something and you're not sure if it's a phrasal verb, maybe it's trying to think of an example. Um, okay, well, let me just answer your question. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably a phrasal verb. If you think, hmm, I know what this verb means, but in this sentence, I don't understand it. And there's a preposition after it, and the preposition doesn't make sense here. Then, yeah, it's probably a phrasal verb. Um, so, yeah, when you see a verb and a preposition and you don't understand it, it's probably a phrasal verb that you haven't learned yet. Good question. Yes, pick on means bully, but bully is spelled with a B. Bully. Bully, not pulley. And I want to be very clear about what I said in the beginning when I said that phrasal verbs are not really especially difficult. Again, I understand that they can be difficult to use and they might not be familiar to you, and there are a lot of them. So, for those reasons, yes, they can be difficult, but that's the same as everything. That's the same as adjectives, that's the same as verbs. Um, but what I don't want is I don't want you to think that they are difficult because you are trying really hard to put the pieces together and try to understand them, because again, that usually doesn't work. So look forward to means I'll wait for it. Not really. Because waiting for it just means I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Where are you? I'm waiting. But look forward to it means, ooh, this is exciting. I want this to happen. This is so nice. So looking forward to something expresses emotion. Waiting for something, there's no emotion. To feel down, I do not think that this is a phrasal verb. Down, for example, you can say, you look down. He's down. Um, in this situation, down is just an adjective, which means unhappy or sad. And feel is the verb. I feel happy. Feel happy is not a phrasal verb. Feel down is also not a phrasal verb. Um, I understand that it might look like one because you see feel, that's a verb, down, that's an adjective, but it's not a phrasal verb. That's just I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel good, I feel bad, I feel up, I feel down. Good question. Is look forward to followed by present continuous tense? So I understand the question. It's not followed by present continuous tense. It's followed by a gerund. A gerund is when we use the verb with ing on the end and we use it as the subject or object of a sentence. Um, so the verb looks like the verb from present continuous tense, but it's not present continuous tense, it's a gerund. So yes, we say, I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to joining you. I look forward to going there. But yeah, so yeah, it's always followed by verb ing, but it's not present continuous tense because that would be I look forward to I am meeting you. That doesn't make sense. That's what present continuous would be, and that does not make sense. So it's verb ing, yes. Present continuous tense, no. What is the difference between get on and get in? So there are different ways that you can use these. Um, My guess is that you are probably asking about vehicles, like get in the car, get on the ship. And they mean the same thing there. But there are some vehicles where we use in and some vehicles where we use on. We usually use on with larger vehicles that hold many passengers. Usually, these are ones that you can stand in, but we say on. Like on the airplane, on the boat, on the bus, but in the car, in the van. That's it. Does looking forward to mean expecting? Um, in emails, yes. Um, in general, in conversation, they're not exactly the same. Because again, look forward to means I'm excited about it. I feel good. I'm happy. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fun. But I am expecting just means I think that it will happen. For example, I'm expecting it to rain this afternoon. That just means I think it's going to rain this afternoon. It does not mean that I'm happy or excited or think that it is good. However, in an email, we often say things like, looking forward to your reply, or looking forward to hearing from you soon. But that is just a polite way of saying you need to reply. That's so yeah, in that case, yes, in an email, it does mean I am expecting a reply from you. I need you to reply to this email. I'm going to be upset if you don't reply. It often means that, but it's a very soft, polite, nice sounding way of saying that. So you're saying, I'm looking forward to your reply. I will be so happy when you reply to this email because you are a nice person and I want to hear from you. But what it really means is, I need you to reply to this email. Good question. Let's do one more question and then I have got to go. Okay, so Guerma, when I heard the expression run into someone for the first time, I wondered why I should run. Run into people? That was funny. So yeah, this is a good example. Because run into, it's not about going into someone, and it's not about running. To run into someone is a phrasal verb that means that you are somewhere and you don't expect to see anyone, but you see them. You're at the grocery store and you're buying some milk, and oh, look, it's my friend. Oh, hey, how are you? I ran into my friend at the grocery store. So yeah, we can't always make the connection between the two words. It doesn't always make sense. It often seems funny. Why do we say it that way? And yeah, these are phrasal verbs. Good. Oh, and finally, for anyone who has enjoyed this lesson and would like to help support my work, please don't forget that I now have 3 ebooks which are available for you to purchase. I'm sharing the link in the comments right now. So if you do not yet have my ebooks, you can get them using that link below in the comments. But yeah, that is all for today. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I've chosen some of your questions. Obviously, I can't take all of them. We don't have time for that. I am a human, not a robot. Although sometimes people think that I am a robot, but I'm not. But yeah, that is all for today, and I will see you again at this time next week. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and also enjoy your weekend, which is not here yet, but hopefully will be here soon.